That sounds great. Before in my school, it was pretty shit. We just fought in breaks in any way we could. Decks of cards would slice each other knuckles, steal each other's pogs and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was ruthless back in my school. You guys play Among Us with the French.
You suck.
Right, jeez. Hey, Mojo baby. Hey, Tingies. Okay, I'm sorry, Pink Floyd, but your time is done. Your time is done. Oh, and on the stream raiders. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I need to change. Oh yeah, because I was playing Stardew last. That's why my screen's fucking massive at the moment. And again, because I'm a West Ham fan, and West Ham are fucking massive. Yeah, don't you forget it. I'm doing great, cheers, dude. Oh, we're starting here. I forgot we'd saved here. Okay. Oh, fuck me. Why is the sensitivity like? Am I just used to something else at the moment? This seems really freeing. Yeah. French noise is intensified. Oh. What are you saying? French intensifies even more. Me saying someone was sus in French is gonna haunt you till death. Je suis suspicions. That means I have suspicions. I know French, yeah. I obviously studied. Okay, we're gonna go do the Lady Gaga mission now. We're gonna pick up an apple.
Ooh, that hat is busted.
Don't you dare say my hat's busted, you piece of shit. I attacked the wrong guy? Oh shit. Where is the paparazzi? Just to the right, okay. Punch my face to the back of my head, is that possible? That seems extremely dangerous. I've not been in here before.
I can't tell Mom about that at all. She'd be so mad.
Oh cool. I don't think I've actually been in here. Oh, it's the other side of the gym. Okay, that makes sense. Fizzle sauce. Literally got thrown out because someone said, and I quote literally, I saw him. Not like I saw him kill someone or something. Just they saw you. That is pretty suspicious. Why were you allowing yourself to be seen if you had no fear of the devil? You know? Get away, nerd. Wow. These people obviously haven't seen many hats, because my hat is fly as fuck and they don't know what they're chatting. Start and keep ups. Yeah, right. I'll give that a go. Hey Leon! How you doing today, buddy? Thank you for the host, man.
I bet I can beat you in keep ups.
I bet I could punch you in the face with the X button.
Like this.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Is this like gonna be tap tap? You did instantly kill your teacher, though. That's fair. Yeah. I think they're probably expecting that, right? What? Use the left stick or move the right? Oh, you son of a fuck! All right. Oh. Oh. Oh shit! I didn't do it. It seems fairly forgiving, since I'm doing it really badly at the moment. Huh.
You're gonna pay for this.
No, I'm not. You just paid for it because you bet me $1 and then you lost.
That's that nonsense.
Get him. Just ended your stream a little too early. Oh, no worries, dude. It's lovely to see you around anyway, Leon, dude. What have you been? What are you playing today? Just ending my. Oh, just read about it. It's called kick ups, right? Bloody bastard eggs. Have I ever heard of soccer? It's chowder. Dark Souls 3. Some SL1 bullshit been happening. SL1? Like in South London?
What?
I mean, look.
On a ragga tip?
Take down the jocks or what? Of course I do.
It's Halle! It's Halle!
Well, what I need are some inappropriate pictures of someone they care about.
You want pictures?
Yes. It's
Ooh.
a complicated plan.
It was your second stream. Oh, nice. Oh, it was your second stream. Or, like, so your second ever stream that you've put out kind of thing. Or your second, like, channel. I think you mean, like, your second stream rather than second channel. But yeah. Soul level 1. Okay, like, never leveling up. I only tried Dark Souls 1 for a bit. I tried it for a good bit on a good few Fridays. One Friday was spent just running around from an NPC who was incredibly creepy. And I still don't regret trying to kill him, but I do regret not being able to kill him, and then him being really strong. I regret his strength. And second stream ever. Okay, fucking A. Yeah, right, the mustache on him is looking fly as fuck. Although he looks like a whore with all this rouge. Hey everybody, I hope you have a lovely evening. Fuck off. Did someone just say they're going to kick my ass? I'd rather you didn't, actually. Hey girls, what am I doing?
You should take that hat off. Makes you look like a
Can I
dork.
convince you to make out with me? Wow, you're like really pretty.
What am I meant to be doing? Go just get pictures of her, okay.
I go to school 7 days a week.
What are you gonna do about it?
That guy was trying to punch me, but then he realised I was taking perf pictures, and now he's chill.
One day you'll get it.
I think I'm going to make a second account for watching Prime with friends because the feature is baller. That's not a bad idea. But, why not just use... Oh, because it will show you... Because it shows your current name on your current Prime account? Is that, like, why, or... Enter the girls' dorm? I am just taking proper perf pictures. But yeah, I should use it more. I started watching, what's it called? Well, I finished watching Humans recently, the old Channel 4 show. Not that old, but the one about, like, AI synths that, like, help you with your life and shit. That was really good. Again, one I should have watched ages ago. I slept on it. Mad Men's the one I started watching recently. Mad Men. I haven't watched it, like, ever before because I was like, well, I'm not really, like, into drinking and shit. But I've started watching it. Mainly because I know, like, Alison Brie's in it and shit. It's been decent so far. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. It's been deeper at times than I thought it'd be. It's been alright. Cigarettes. Gonna local, grab some dinner. No worries, Leon. You get to it, my friend. I hope you have a delicious munch. Let us know what you had. Oh, and also, I did put like if anybody ever wants to put pictures of their food in my Discord, you're more than welcome to. People ask for it, so I put it there. I don't really eat enough to take pictures of it. I was thinking about taking some pictures of my tea. I make some nice tea sometimes, you know. We could all post colours of our tea, and then we could discuss who like has the milkiest tea, who has the least milkiest tea. I don't know if we're ready for that excitement, but we're getting there. Yeah. You don't like having friends, family, work people in your stream, so you don't want them to have this account's name. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, that's fair. It's just the only IRL person like having a stream. Yeah, there's very few people. Like obviously, I knew Bakura before I started streaming, and obviously Enzomo's my brother, and I knew Matty before I started streaming. The only person beyond that who's come into my real life is a couple of like, my older brother has come in once. I think one of my cousins came in once or twice. My brother's brother-in-law has popped in a couple of times, and then my buddy Bob, who's more recently came to like the Minecraft rave and shit. But yeah, beyond that, like yeah, I've never like I'd never used like Facebook or anything anyway, really. But like I haven't even like haven't even ever like posted on Facebook that I like Twitch or anything like that. I don't want those people in my stream. I want my new cool friends like you guys. Yeah. Your tea has no milk, so easy wins. Damn, Yarn. You have no milk in your tea? What, just dark black tea? Mojo, you have black tea too? I know people have black coffee, but black tea seems a bit psychopathic. Like, next you're going to tell me there's no sugar in it. I have to start this all over again.
You to wait. You wait now. No.
Oh shit, hello love.
Trespassers are punished severely and unreasonably.
You can run, but you cannot hide. Stay calm, everyone. I'll catch
Stay tartar, everybody.
you. That was actually fun. This time.
Eee. Right, you need to put milk and sugar. I mean, same with the IRL people in stream. Tea is shit black. Oh my. Mojo. Not only do you hate tea, but apparently you're a racist too now. Yeah. Get wrecked. Wait, I missed my fucking X. Oh, I can only do discreet deliveries, which I keep fucking up. Oh yeah, last time I fucked up discreet deliveries because the person who I took the deliveries off glitched out and stole my moped, and then because it was the like NPC I got the mission from, I then couldn't hurt them, so I couldn't get my moped back.
What is the meaning of this?
It's just really nice to skate around school halls. You drink your tea natural, not some shitty sugar or milk. What do you mean you drink tea naturally? Like, so you grow it yourself, do you? You then mash it together, and then you make water from magic. So that's the only way you make real tea.
Are
Are you okay? What did you do?
To be fair, it's not necessarily how you make your tea that defines how British you are, but how much tea you have. I, for example, probably have at least double digits of cups of tea a day. Do you?
Cool.
I see all of the
And you don't want Chad tea, English breakfast tea.
Whatever.
Yeah. Hey, Bakura baby, how you doing, dude? Coffee is not superior. To poop, maybe, but
Now listen.
minutely.
Word is you're quite the problem.
Yeah, and tea is great in a submarine. Good shout, yeah.
Proposition.
Grow your own tea.
I'm listening.
I know Bakura makes his own water. It's crazy watching that process. But he's magic.
I need some of them delivered to
You're
my
literally
customers
God. You made everything.
quick, though. They need
Then,
All right.
Go pick up the stuff from my lab technician.
if you're
He's in
God,
town, in Trailer Alley.
give me an extra foot.
You looking for?
Just give me an extra foot. I'll wait a second. I'll look at my feet. I'm wearing black socks, and I'm on like a black footrest, so it's kind of hard to see my feet. But I know my feet are there. I can feel them, for the most part. The right foot's got a little loss of sensation, but hey-ho. Double-digit teas per day, that's madness. You're madness! Coffee shoots tea. Yeah, I know, it's an absolute menace. Why would you want to drink that shoots people? It's fucking disgusting. Yeah. Man already gave a guy an extra foot today. You're God, you can give many people extra feet. Jeez. Give me feet on my hands. So then I can flip. I can run on my feet, jump, flip, run on my hand. Flip, run on my feet, flip, run on my hands. Perfect way to transport yourself. Oh, wait, better yet, actually, rather than the extra foot, just fix my spine. That's probably the better one. Go for it. You probably drink between 1 or 2 coffees a day on average. Okay. Furry? No, a spinny. I'm a spinny, bruh. I just want feet on my hands. I don't want paws. I want feet. I want to say I got feet. And then I can just keep rotating. 3 or 4 is probably max for you. I don't know if let me think. So, it depends how late I'm up. I definitely have between 5 and 10 cups of tea a day, I would probably say. Yeah. Dogs don't rotate. They run on all paws. I still want arms. I don't want my arms to be turned into legs. I don't want to run like a dog, you know? I want to just rotate like some sort of spinny toy. In the office, you'd probably have like 5 a day. Yeah, that's it. Like when I worked. Oh shit! I didn't see you there though. Could you let me go, please? Yeah, when I was like working in an office, it would be like every hour. And now I'm at home. It's like every hour to 2 hours. If I've got a different drink, I won't necessarily have as much tea though. You know, if I'm having like a.
Who cares? What's the debt?
If I'm having like a nice Coca-Cola or something, then I probably won't have tea at the same time. Although sometimes I'll have like a cup of juice and a cup of tea next to each other, because it's a pretty good morning combo. Seems like a dog with extra steps. Extra flips! I don't know what you're not getting about wanting to do more flips in my own life. Only drinks hot mushroom water and calls it coffee. Basically coffee is just mushroom water, Mojo. You've been buying the mushroom lies. Big Mushroom's been selling you mushrooms under your nose for years. Do you really think there's such thing as coffee beans? You think beans can make drinks, Mojo? No, it's mushroom. Because fungi make drinks, you know? It's time you learn. That's why I drink tea. It's the only way to stay completely mushroom free. Because tea is made by the essence of bags. Your tea goes cold for, you ask if you want another one? Yeah, it generally does, right? That's long enough. Yeah. Coffee's infinitely better than mushroom water. To be fair, the only mushroom water I've ever drunk gave me much better results than coffee. Doesn't believe in bean drinks, he only drinks leaf drinks. Yeah, man. Oh, I just remembered I wanted to get my scooter out for this one, and now I don't have it. Yeah, I don't believe in bean drinks, but yeah, leaf drinks. Boy, get yourself some. I'm not a big fan of mint tea, but that's a leaf drink, so get yourself some. Stinger nettle tea, that's something people have. They're probably mental, but it's a thing. This is war. Tea's on my side, bro. All my tea. He's not going to change his name to All My Coffee. That sounds silly. So he's on my side. And have I unlocked the spell book? I don't believe so. We're still waiting for our first battle today, so I'll check it out on the first battle. Oh, did it actually? Because I saw they like each of the lead characters basically gave out like. It seemed like it was a PR stunt, but they all gave out different names for it. Does it have home in the title? I'm hoping it doesn't. Right, who's the first nerd? Up. Tears your inside, man. Nah. Well, I mean, actually, he probably likes being inside. Inside! Inside! But, that was a little MC treat for you there, by the way, guys. It's called No Way Home! God damn it, Spider-Man in his home. Is he? I mean, No Way Home also implies that he's still not going to be in Brooklyn. I just want him to be fucking swinging around New York in this one. He's gone off and had his adventures elsewhere. We need a fucking New York Spider-Man film next, please. I know it's going to be Into the Spider-Verse type thing, but I'm hoping it still centers in New York. You rarely ever have tea, and if you do, it's often green tea. Yeah, it's because you like bogeys. Get them. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of any other tea than English breakfast tea. Any other tea is pretty gross. Like, Earl Grey? That's nasty. Why would you do that? Just copious amounts of black coffee. You goddamn bean dweller. Yeah. Wanna wait, 0.9! Keeping it corrupt, fam. They've written it on a whiteboard like one of the previous titles was Spider-Man Homeworlds. Oh, okay. They should have called it Spider-Man World Wide Web. Yeah. You like Earl Grey? That's because you're a fucking nutter, Ryan. Your original nutter. Which is obvious teasing something. Yeah, right. Tea isn't even British? Yeah, but we just bought it. I mean, technically it comes from, like, India. But we just, like, we buy it. And China, right? Wouldn't buy all the tea in China. But we did. You'd like to be an Earl? I think Einan's an Earl. It's the only way he can make those remixes, right? And it's actually Hate is Love Day, Yarn. So you just said you love me. Get wrecked. Yeah, savage. Get out of the way, old lady. The Earl of Wales. No. Oh, god damn it. I'm in a shit part of town. Why do you even care, man? Well, you can fuck off. Your mum's captain of the football team, okay? I've got to go all the way home to start this mission again. I'm never going to get this mission done. I get busted every time. I need to remember to take my scooter. Tom Holland made a joke titled Spider-Man Homewrecker. Yeah, that would have been funny. Just like him spending time with Aunt May's best mate. Who's not having great marital stuff. That's good. I really like that one. Get off. All the fake Spider-Man titles refer to the Spider-Man trilogy, so kind of fair. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. If they actually have, because I mean, I don't know if it's been fully confirmed or if it's just stupidly high rumored. I think it's. I know they've had the talks at least, but like Andrew Garfield and what's his face, Tobey Maguire being in it will be fucking insane. And because obviously Sam Raimi's doing into the Mind of Madness, the Doctor Strange one, which is going to tie up a lot of the universe shit as well, or open up to a lot of the universe stuff. So I mean, they're basically trying to sneak in Spider-Man 4, but blatantly are. Okay. I think my favourite outfit is the 80s rocker outfit. It just works, you know.
How can I be expected to survive on so little?
It's just stupidly high rumored. Tom Holland keeps denying it though. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, he's probably been told a million times to shut the fuck up now because he keeps saying stuff. Yeah, got a spud gun. I couldn't have a pistol. This is kids in school, dude. They're only allowed to shoot weapons that can like disable, not like murder. No worries, Anan. We'll catch you in a second, buddy. Okay, so we're gonna see what first lesson is.
I hope you enjoy that as much as I.
You alright? You okay?
You suck so much you should get beat.
I didn't mean to.
Just take off the damn shoes.
All good?
Is that shirt some sort of a joke?
I'm sorry.
Don't be stupid.
What's new?
Is that shirt some sort of a joke? Dumbass. You just can't remember.
Oh, he's after them. I thought he was gonna attack me. Oh. Yeah! Tom Holland did say that he just made one of the best superhero fight scenes ever, which took them 1 month to film. Fuck. Maybe they got Quicksilver in there and they got to do all that slow motion shit. You just drank an entire can in one gulp. That's hardcore. Einan's gone mushy picking. He may well have done. He may well have done. Okay, so it's biology, so I can actually go do other shit. Cool. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Fizzy McQuay! How you doing, Gizmo dude? It has been a little while, hope you've been keeping well. As you can see, we're just rocking school like it's 1884. This is an 1884 rock up. All the set pics are looking interesting too. Nice. Yeah, I'm keeping away from like those. Like nowadays, especially Marvel, they have a way of just telling everything that's going to happen in their movies. So like I just try and avoid it for the most part now. I'm 100% going to watch the movie, so I'm going to avoid any like pics or trailers that I can, just so I can then fully experience it all, kind of thing. Lingerie for animal abuse in games. Oh, you're thinking of Bakura. Yeah. I'm good, thanks. Not seen live in ages. I've been, I mean, I have been on, but not quite as much as I used to do it, basically. I'm thinking you've just not been live for a while. It's probably just been missing time-wise, yeah. So I stream still probably like, I don't know, about 3 times a week, I'd say, like, more so nowadays. Like, so I'm not streaming, like, every day like I used to, pretty much. But I'm still streaming a good amount, but it's been a bit shorter as well. So I haven't been starting as early as I used to. But I've been trying to get back into doing early ones a little bit more recently. I actually started one at 2 o'clock the other day, which was nice.
Bulwark boys are better than the rest! Yay!
Someone once said on Tumblr, so today I found out that I'm allowed to carry a knife with me to school as long as it's more than 3.5 inches, but I still can't show my soldiers. And if that's not a perfect description, American schoolers don't know what it is. Yeah, that's fucking terrifying. Why are you allowed to bring knives into school? Yeah, Mojo's got that Primo account. Yeah. You've heard of Patreon? This is Satreon. It's even higher in the alphabet. There's also a cam that constantly records my knees at like macro level, so you can see like, you know, the real depths of my skin on my knees. That one's pretty expensive. You don't just get knee cam for free. You know what I'm saying? Wait, can I just get in here? It's daytime, right? Do I have to? No, I have to break in around the corner, okay. Run away, nerd. These are the sort of ones I fail a lot, because they don't... If these ones just allowed you to restart the mission, it'd be so much easier. But they don't, ever. You did earn yours, that's true, yeah. Mainly because you stopped that burglar through CCTV that time before I realised you had it, and then I was like, well, this is a pretty good idea, you know? And now I feel a lot safer at night. Oh, Mandy.
Have you finished your homework?
I need to take some pictures of you, because I am a pervert at school.
Don't stay up too late now.
There's that mug, look at that fucking mug.
Everyone be good.
I don't think she comes into this room.
Who should I humiliate and socially destroy today?
You are in a world of trouble.
How did she see me? I was already in the room. And she's vibrating with anger. Everyone's that. Oh, they didn't fail me though. Okay, they didn't fail me. I can just go around and start again, or go back in the front door now. I think I can just go in the front door. You really wanted that rock god outfit to be like the spandex bodysuit? Yeah, right. Massive like codpiece and shit.
I hear most disturbing sounds.
I mean, I'm allowed to be here during the day,
Waste
right?
any more time here.
Oh shit, there she is.
Oh, your room is disgraceful.
Are you in there, Karen? Okay, I can use that.
Wild card, bitches!
You are in
Right, that's what I'm trying to wildcard it.
a man.
How did she see
Get
me?
out of here, you creep.
I'm not a creep. I'm well, yeah. Oh yeah, how did it go, Bakura, dude? Did everything go dandy?
Is everything okay in there, girls?
Girls!
You are in a
Stop
world
looking around, lady.
young man.
Just because I'm a young man.
Pervert, get out of the girls' dorm.
I need a gal's dress. Then I could pretend to be a gal, and then she wouldn't mind. So just asking if I was looking on Indeed and stuff. Right, fair. Which you were like, I've seen 1,000 fucking jobs.
Is
okay in there, girls?
Oh, now I'm gonna... You can slide down the banister? I did not know that. Right. I'm gonna wait for her to leave her room and go upwards.
Is everything okay in there, girls? Is everything okay in there? You are in a world of trouble, young man. You pervert!
Yeah.
The girls'
Of course, joining the Justice Society of America. It's pretty neat. But he's the best man for the job. If anybody can do something about society's justice in America, specifically, Miss Bukura. He was actually one of the first people to invent America. Oh shit. Oh shit. You got this.
Is everything okay in there, girls?
I'm trying to get pictures of Mandy, but this goddamn teacher won't let me take pictures of girls in the shower. Like, what the fuck's wrong with her?
Is everything okay in there, girls?
Could you get a move on, fucking fuckface Felicia? Oh, fucking hell, hello. Well, this isn't going to be good. I feel like she might see me here. Maybe not. Maybe she's just now... She's just randomly fucking off this time.
Ah, much better.
I didn't get a picture of her.
With my charisma and popularity again.
That's true. I didn't get that far into the bathroom either. Get one more photo of what? Where am I even? Oh, there's the exit. Okay. I genuinely was really confused. Oh, come on now.
This is much better. I hope it doesn't make me smell like a nerd.
Is everything okay in there, girls?
Oh my god!
Why is she screaming? Is it because I left?
I hear something that concerns me.
Hear your
Perhaps there's
butt.
nothing to be concerned about.
I hate you!
Forward prefect.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I won't stop until you are apprehended.
Then you won't stop. You won't ever stop. You know, Leon.
Really are silly. Stop making me cute. Oh, relax. I've got some nice pictures for you.
There you go, pervert.
Can't wait to see them. Avid student of anatomy, you know.
Oh, yeah. Wait, why don't the jocks like me? I can understand if the girls respected me less now, but why the jocks?
The girl? Someday, my friend. Someday.
Defender of the castle. Alright.
Ceiling?
Also gonna see what class is next.
Help me, sir!
Nope.
Almost had yourself. That's the worst shirt I ever saw.
Those pants.
Reading.
What's that on your leg?
She helps nerds, but they don't know that. And I've done music as well. Okay, so I can go do this other mission too. Okay. Ooh, Stream Raiders is ready though, so let's go do some battling. We've updated the game with new stuff. Thank you, you bastards. You son of bitches. Okay, well, we're just reinstalling it. Bear with me 2 seconds, and then we'll fight. I think this is the first update I've had while streaming with it, though, to be fair. I've seen Bakura's had, like, quite a few where he's been streaming, and then it's like, update, but this is the first time it's ever updated for me while streaming. At least you could see my dog in the meantime. Okay. And here we go, yo. Come in. Okay, so where are we? We're here. Oh, complete Spellbound quest to unlock your first spell. Unlock spells by winning battles with your viewers. Okay, let's fight. We got 10 troops. I reckon we're going to murk them, mate. We're going to do them. That's it. Fight with gusto, everybody. We got this. We got this. It's got 2 little bug shits to get. Everyone's just chilling out now. Just me and fucking Almighty going to finish it. Everyone else like, oh, we're cool. We're just gonna chill. Okay. So, for this one, I'm going to give it to Almighty. And then Item will get the next one. Yeah. Okay. So, next we got another fight against the Beatles. It's a moderate fight against the Beatles, so bring your best musicians. I think I've got to put flag bearers down for my next one. Is that right? We'll see once I put it down. Yes. Yes. 3 flag bearers. Right, okay. Get your troops down, yo. It could be the last thing ever we do. And I should have just done one of them. Yeah, here we go. Nice. Place 5 balloon busters. Okay, I'll do the flag bearers first, I guess. Upgrade these little dudes, because it's good for them to get upgraded. Bless them, you know. Hey, and Hannah, baby! Lovely to see you today, dude. How has today been treating you? Okay.
Son, what's that on your leg?
I don't know what to say. I have to go practice.
What's going on? Hey, what's up? How are you?
Oh, Jimmy.
Screams are not always the best things.
Crazy. They say that kids imitate characters in video games. That has yes become a mustache.
I'm paying on you, and it's only a matter of time now.
Who's fighting? Oh, what? Oh, the nerd. Not nerd. Well, he is a nerd, but he's a jock nerd. A jock nerd just want to hurt me because I'm a badass rocker from the 80s. Defender of the castle. Okay.
Oh, here he is, Mr. Big.
Oh, can't you just get lost? Or help, we're trying
I thought,
to get out
yeah, I
of
thought we
here.
were becoming
Come
buddies
on,
and shit.
Muscles. We've not got long.
What are you talking about?
The jocks are coming to kill us.
Oh, cool.
Oh, thanks to you and your sordid little pictures.
You wanted them.
Yeah.
You're the sicko.
Yeah.
Healthy interest in sexual
I barely even
matters is
masturbated.
natural during puberty, bud. That's why I was having those dreams. Anyway, this is not important right now. I am about to die. We all are.
When are
Why don't
they
you just
coming?
go
What
home?
about your famous
If I thought I was
defense?
gonna die, I'd leave the place I thought I was gonna die.
Fix it?
I need a
Especially
bit
if it's
of
school.
time. We have no
Go to
time.
town.
We're dead.
Go to the fair for the day, you know, treat yourself.
Dead. I love you, my friend.
Look, you fix it. I'll hold up the jocks. Now, where's that gun thing?
Get out of here, you sickos! We're coming to get you!
I already had one of these, to be fair, but
These feelings are natural, and I'm about to die for them.
Just
Yep.
go fix the
He's gonna
defenses,
die
and I'll
because
take
he's
care
a
of the
sleazy
girls.
perv.
We're coming to get out of here, sickos!
2 out of 10 perverts don't even make it out of high school, though. It's a pretty savage world. Got to the barricade. He didn't sound like Arnie, that sounded more Scottish. And that's what I was going for.
To the barricade!
Let's go, nerds!
We're doomed. The jocks are coming.
Disgusting.
I won't forget this.
Get wrecked, nerds. Oh, don't I have any more? Ow, who did that to me? Fuck it. Let's just beat him up. I can't hit him because... Did I just knock myself out?
I gotta train harder.
Back to the observatory, okay. Yeah, dual wielding, that'd be sick on these.
Get to the spud cannon. It's our last.
Gonna go play Hitman 2016 now. No worries, dude, you get on it. Damn good games.
Spent the last 8 hours making arrows in a video game.
When I have troops to place. Yeah. Well, a good thing is you can always like alt tab to like place troops and stuff if you want to keep doing that whilst playing other shit.
Mirage, I don't understand.
But yeah, Hitman's dope, man. I played Hitman 2. I haven't played Hitman 1, but I assume it was just as awesome. Secret unlocked. Green ninja costume. Yeah, nice. Oh, they're my dudes, aren't they? These nerds aren't doing anything, man. That one nerd's giving it his best, but I just knocked him out. That nerd's got a spud cannon in his hand and he's just standing there. Fucking nerd. Oh! This one's extra fun because it sweeps them off their feet. Oh, there were like repeated dick shots, I believe, there as well. Nice. And I only saw nerd respect there, unless I missed the negative part. I don't think the jocks hated me at all for that. They were like completely chill about it. Thanks. Lovely bean cola. Get the day going right, you know. Nice outfit or discretion assured? Where are they? Oh, they're both really close. Okay, even better. Well, we'll go do the left one because the other one's back where we just ran from, so. Okay.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey,
I know, it's funny. I'm the girl in the dirty pictures, haha.
What are you talking about?
Don't pretend you don't know.
Dirty
Everybody
pictures.
knows.
Knows what?
There's posters of me all over town.
We need to go
Oh,
to
no.
town.
Now everyone thinks I'm a slut.
What town? There's a few
Great, my
towns.
parents will be so proud. I'll probably get expelled.
Weird thing to be
Look,
proud
it
of,
could
but
be
you know.
worse.
How?
Who walks
How
alive
is
and
that?
stuff?
Could it be worse? I mean, sure, I've been a bitch.
You could have
at
iguanas
times,
for
been
arms.
Nasty, but I don't deserve this. My life is over. I mean, I've always wanted to be a model, but not like this. Everybody's laughing at me.
Probably get more money as a naked
Everybody's
model.
always laughing at me.
Well, maybe you're not as insecure as I am. Okay, I just wanted to be popular. Now everybody hates me.
Yeah, still
guess I
popular of
deserve
sorts.
it.
People love to
I'll
hate.
tell you what, you wait here. I'll get rid of those posters for you, or at least cover them up.
Would you? I do
We'll
it
draw little
myself, but
bras
I
on
can't
them and
deal with
shit.
it. I'm really losing it here.
Just hang in there.
We're gonna rock this motherfucker. Take over the posters of Mandy. Alright. Well, let's get our bike first.
The veal is more delicious because it's made from
Hello.
Get him away.
Yeah, and if Johnny finds out, he's gonna kill me.
You think you can take me down? Stop moving around! If I didn't have a straight wrist, you'd already be dead. How you doing? I'm gonna teach you not to mess with my guy.
Let's go, baby. Beep beep. Oh, it's actually. I just realised it's actually in the. There's probably some more not in school, but these are actually in school, so I didn't actually need to get my bike out.
You've unleashed my barbarian rage. Last time I was here. I'll ask Lil.
We need like.
What? You want to see me lose it? I'm dead. You're dead. So you're gonna start fighting? Mama, I'll break every bone in your scrawny little body.
Look familiar.
You're dead. The winner gets one. You'll be prosecuted to the back.
He just lamped me.
Wait up! I got something! Help me to help!
You want me to help?
I don't think I have any paint.
What is this, a marathon? I'm going to nip your
Can I jump over there? He can.
Come on, Pansy! You're going down the first round! Open wide! Come on!
This isn't going as well as I was hoping.
Some of that action! Nice pants, win! Wait up! I got something to tell you! Wait up! I got something to tell you! Come on, Pansy!
Please don't make me cry.
Oh, he can't actually get me whilst I'm doing this. Nice.
Look at me! I've got some mayonnaise on my pants.
I mean, you can't really see anything. This guy's still after me. What delete? I love how this bike turns. It's so fluid. Which one's nearer? The first one.
Good thing my wife didn't see me looking at that.
Yep, because that's a teenage girl.
Look at this. Some art hater, obviously.
I mean, didn't really do anything. Wow, there's a toilet shot. I didn't even take that one. Oh, someone else. I swear. Wait, someone's already tagged this one though.
Don't get up next time. Why are you wearing this? Come on, Carly. You like that, ain't you?
There we go, that's better. Oh, what? Last time they couldn't do that.
You're going. Let me get a closer look at that.
With pants like those, you're better
Oh, I just ran out.
Why do you put that thing on your head, dear?
I need to get someone at the shop. Okay.
Ain't you ever heard shoes make the man?
Hello and welcome.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Those are some
Yahoo!
weird shoes.
You're a weird shoe.
It's pound cake time.
Oh shit, okay. I'm up for cake. I like cake.
Incredible. You know that vandalism is illegal, right, kid?
I was anti-vandalizing, if anything. Nope.
Every time they block me, my blood highly inappropriate.
Be well.
I guarantee
What's
at least
happening here?
12 of my conditions are stressful.
Okay, nothing was happening there. Also, I swear it said 4 out of 5 before I did that one. Oh, because they're trying to clean up, they're cleaning up the posters as I go, okay. Damn man, perverts work hard, right?
For my next party.
That's the first good thing I've seen since I got out of bed.
They won't let you near them.
How's he getting there that quick? Has he got a moped too?
Really are. I'm gonna take you
Careful
down.
now, you might hurt yourself.
I'm an excellent boxer, you know.
Careful now, you might
Okay.
hurt yourself.
Open wide.
Really are.
Oh shit. Shit. Cool power slide. Oh yeah, she saw it.
Oh, you are the sweetest boy ever!
I've been waiting for this.
Huh. So the reward I got for making her not look like a slut is getting her to make out of me.
But don't tell anyone, okay?
I'm telling everybody. I'm gonna take pictures and put them up on the wall.
All right.
Oh, how you doing there, bud?
Troublemakers will be fine.
Hey, what's new?
Your parents must regret ever
Stupid
having
thing on your head!
The window's been broken 6 times.
What's wrong, buddy?
your move, killed me. I will be
Oh shit.
escape the wrong arm of the law. It's awesome, man. Awesome. Stop so I can beat you. Stop that. What? Do they always
Okay, let's try and actually get this one done this time.
get away?
Okay, I'll get away.
I shall still moving, but
Go away, get away.
you've been asking for it.
I like it. I don't understand why you'd wear that on your head.
Where's my bike gone? They stole my bike.
Put that stupid thing on your head.
Idiot! Howdy! What would you call it? Yard thick in the back.
I wonder what everyone is
I just got wind that Johnny was gonna try to start a food fight tomorrow.
Whoa, Johnny's gonna start a food fight tomorrow? I'm glad I know that now. I'll wear my food fight clothes.
With kids like those, you're better off just wearing a skirt.
Okay, we have to hope this doesn't bug out again this time.
How's it going? See ya. The bomb drops.
Way to go, douche!
Mr. Watson.
girls
Something
like
about some.
me.
I'm gonna stop your butt!
Thanks, buddy. No, no, Einan. This is where I flipped last time, and that was a bad idea. Oh, shit, got a spin. It's right here. Don't just ran into my bike, you dum dum.
I mean, gotta help John.
Come on, hurry up! I haven't got all night. I'm a student. Whoa! That dude just came in and trashed that dude's team. Oh, shit. That dog's still chasing me. Oh, bless him. He's probably having a lot of fun. This dog's just like added pressure. Look at him, he's ferocious. I think he has rabies. Look at him, he's got the zoomies. Fucking hell.
Thank you, my friend!
You're welcome, my friend. I didn't realize we were friends, but that's cool.
You're making it
Cliff, what? What happened?
I'm gonna sit on it.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Oh, the dog's gone. I think the dog just got tired and went home. It's definitely safe and alive. I mean, the dog keeps running into a moped. Shit gonna happen. Bums are not good for nothing, but they're good for a lot of things. Wait, where are we going? Oh, we need to go to the back. I did beep.
What happened to your pants?
I have to go. See ya.
Sit down already.
You alright, mate?
You want my toy?
Chin check time, punk.
Thank you.
You're lucky I don't have time right now. Otherwise, I'd have to lay you out. Ooh,
You're going down.
That's how tough I am.
I'm gonna get you.
Is this in? Yeah, it's in the school. Cool.
Sure hope nobody gives me a wedgie today. I'm so bored. I wish something would happen.
See how sneaky I am right now? So sneaky. Alright, what do you want, deformed Bill Murray?
Splendid. I said I'd do it.
I was giving miracle hair growth to people. I just assumed it was like
You come over here and take
scabs. Just a box of scabs.
Think you're doing it?
Oh, hang on, pal. And why would you clip such a nothing clip? Nothing happened at all during the game at that moment, and to put such a weird title on it is even crazier. Shit. It wasn't my fault. It was a goddamn dog's fault for running into me like a goddamn poop hammer. Yeah, son of a bitch. I'll fuck off the racist for now. I think I might as well go to bed. I don't think this. I've got no missions at the moment. I can't.
They all call me a teacher's pet. I don't understand.
Wait, teacher's pet.
Teachers just don't pay enough attention to kids, you know. Library find. I feel a bit sick.
Okay.
The Scottish cross.
Get lined up perfectly.
Those pants.
Oh, come on!
What are you looking at, punk?
I never had on you wanted.
Hey, you. Come on, then.
I have to go call my mom. Bye.
Okay, now people are like, who is he? Oh, we did try that one once. Gambling's illegal. Excuse you? That's right. That's right. Can of spuds, nice.
I always wonder. What would it be like to be big and tough and really stupid?
Alright, we're going Green Ninja now because that's the newest one we got. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, no, get into bed, buddy. Okay.
No, I'm so hard on everyone around me, but I never judge myself. I had a great Christmas Eve, but evidently nothing's changed here.
I only like rich people because my parents are judgmental capitalist scum. Again, he still hasn't learned to, like, you know, be more precise with your messaging. You're watching TV? Now you can't watch anything ever again.
You look stupid.
You look stupid. Astronomy clubs postponed to jock attacks. Oh. Okay, we're gonna see what lessons are happening. Oi! Stop it! Now you're blind forever.
Greetings, friend.
My daddy says people like
You moron.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Why was I busted? God damn it! Out of all of the stuff I do, I got busted for calling him a moron.
Those are some weird shoes.
Oh, how you doing?
Why you'd wear that on your head. I've got archives to search. Those pants are not
I
proper
promise
attire.
not to do it again.
Dr. Crabblesnitch was right about you.
You mean you been talking about me to Dr. Crabblesnitch?
No, not me.
I always knew you were a failure.
She's a meanie.
no escape from the Trent man.
Okay, where we go? This is him in his early stages of becoming a turtle. Oh shit! This might be
Get lost.
this might be shop, auto shop.
Don't do anything mean.
I think it is. Yep. Shit. Okay.
This place is sucking way harder than it used to. It's not so bad. You're gonna get creamed.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. Let's do this.
All right, kids. I'm in a good mood today.
We're still on bikes. We're still on bikes. Okay, cool. Okay. So I'm gonna have to spin to start usually. So I'm gonna start doing it again. You have to do the analog stick before it tells you to, because it's such a shitty port. Oh, and it wanted us to do it the other way, so that way I was already losing. Bastards. Okay. Anti-clockwise. Let's do this.
Good work, Hopkins. I guess you're not useless. Maybe you're just
Shit.
not cut out for this. Start over.
Okay, so we gotta rotate. Was the other one clockwise or counterclockwise? I can't actually remember now. This one's counter, I know.
Not too shabby, Hopkins.
I think the other one was counterclockwise, but we're not gonna get it done because there'll be another one, I'm sure.
You're getting somewhere now. Shut
Oh shit.
All right, we're getting somewhere now. You have some real
Oh, she got it. Fucking A. Okay, sweet. Okay, only one more shop to do as well. Shop does give you a call to buy. Ooh, look at that shit. It's got blue flames on it. That's like the highest level of flame, man. Beyond white, but that's just nuts. Why would you want it on your bike? It's dangerous. Wait, stop bullying each other. I'm not sure who was. I'm not sure who was the real meanie there. So I just took them both out. I don't run an animal in my head. This is literally a bed sheet. I don't even need spray paint. Right, so again, gotta wait to see what next. How you doing, girl? We gotta wait to see what's the next lesson. What? I didn't even see that. That's not your bike. That's my bike. Your bike was stolen years ago. Don't forget. You know, my bike's brand new, straight from church. Stop it. Get him! Yeah, boy. That's what you get. That's what you get. I don't even have a crime wave. How did I even know who it is? I'm a ninja. In fact, hang on. Now they can't see me. I'm completely and utterly invisible now. I'd be surprised if you guys could even see me. God damn it. Get out my hiding spot!
How many kids can use stuff in garbage cans really fast? Not very many yet.
Did you hear that wow? Oh shit. Yeah, they don't like it. Oh, sent straight to it. Okay. They don't like it if you beat up little children or women in this game.
Last assignment I have for you.
The last assignment. Oh shit. Let's do this thing. Take photos of the freaks in the carnival. Oh, that seems mean. Anakin taught you? The only thing that Anakin taught you was to get rid of all the Padwans if you ever go on a mad spree, you know. That was Jingle Bells. I suppose I'll drive on the correct side. See, this lesson is not really fair because, like, I'm a poor student, you know, and I'm having to waste $1 to do my actual lesson here. Oh, we're actually going to go through the freak show properly, though. Ooh. Fortune. No one likes a whiner. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's it, you get the cat jamming. Open sesame. So 7 pictures of les freaks. C'est chics. He seems like a nice guy. Next up, the fat, ugly, bearded lady. Nope, that's not where I was wanting to aim. Oh, we got a mid-eating as well. Good shit. Although she was covering her beard somewhat. Siamese sisters, but not Siamese twins. That's even fucking worse. Alright. You see this dude trying to get in my way? Why are you walking backwards, dude? Oh, I did that the first time round. Alright. We failed this last time. Last time we bet on the dude with the belt because we're like heels to champion. This time we're gonna put $5 on cable, mini cable. Siamese stepsisters, oh shit. The natural evolution. Go fucking have him. Fucking have him. You did, yeah, you did tell me to go over him last time. I don't know if it's like scripted that he always wins or if it is just random. Oh, and we will do Stream Raiders as soon as this boxing match ends. Oh, that was a low blow. Dude was already down. See, I fucking lost both times. They just wait until... That's the problem with waiting until someone's already placed a bet. Okay, let's quickly do Stream Raiders. And then we'll come back to more of the freak show. Damn, right? I know, right? Yeah. There's no winning with some freak show boxing matches, you know. I'm not exposed by winning battles with your viewers. I mean, I haven't noticed myself being given spells. Do I have to do anything special to start that, or is it we just go? I guess that's instead of the battle pass thing they had type shit. Anyway, let's go. 25 allies. Let's do this thing. Yeah. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, like a limit of so many need to win first. We got this, we got this. All day. All fighting day. Okay, nice. Good job, everybody. Good job. Top job. So, we're going to give this one to... Einan wasn't in this one. I was going to give it to Einan this time round. We're going to give it to Leon. And we're going to give it to Fada, because Fada was in earlier. The next one we're going to give to Hatter and Einan, if they're in it. Or the next one, Hatter and Einan are in. I'm going to aim to try and remember to give that to them. Yeah. Okay. Oh shit. There's also stuff out. Oh, there's a lot of stuff I haven't collected. 2 seconds. Let's actually do some of these so we can scroll. And you get way more shit as a captain. I suppose you only put one troop down. I'm stacking it. Okay. Upgrade you, get into the battle. Upgrade you, get into the fighting battle. And upgrade you. Take your time, don't get hurt in the battle. And let's have a look in the little shoppy shoes. That's what they're called. So get rogues. Rogues get bitches. That'll do for now. That'll do for now. And we're nearly at level 10 as well. One more to get the rogue up. Beautiful. Okay, so we got another like 20-something minutes, 28 minutes, something like that. So get your fight into the fight and let's fight. Oh, I haven't started the battle yet. Let's do that. Shit, I thought I'd already done that. So let's do the battle. Get your stuff in, guys. You now have 30 minutes. And I need to do one more flag bearer and then we can use real troops. Yeah. Okay, in the meantime, back to Bully.
You really need to go home and put on another pair of shoes.
You need to adjust your attitude. Did he even have a name? Oh, the crazy painted man. Oh my god, are these not tattoos? That's paint? Oh my god, that's crazy. What are you doing? This guy's pacing. This guy's trying to free him. And this, from the depth of the sea, the last mermaid. Nice. Yeah. I can't do that one anymore. So once you do a race, if you win the race, I'm guessing it just disappears. Oh, maybe none of the races are showing at the moment because I'm in a mission. Everyone's ragging on our ninja outfit, but if I had a cool ninja outfit, I'd be wearing it. Oh shit, you see what's going on here? I'm a ninja. I want to go to school. Hey, that guy's beating him up for me. Beautiful. Okay.
You think I'm joking?
Let's give in our assignment.
Hey, look, the circus is in town.
Is that your please beat me shirt?
Please beat me shirt. Nah, that's the one about the nipple covers.
Does the shirt smell worse than it looks?
Mom would like that.
His mum likes green ninja outfits. That's good to know.
You know, Jimmy, you have a little bit of a rough edge, but I really think there's something special about you. I
Thanks.
have no more assignments for you, Jimmy. I'll miss these afternoons we've spent together.
All right, calm down. I'm a child.
Straight up awesome.
Carnival bonus. You earn double tickets at carnival games. Oh, okay, that's cool. So we don't need, like... I think we needed... If I remember rightly, we needed 330 to buy everything at the carnival, and I've already spent 75 now on the thing. So, I mean, we probably don't have to get that many more tickets, but I kind of also can't be bothered. Yo, yo, yo.
Pirates would love that shirt. A homeless untouchable would love those shirts.
Homeless Untouchable? I've not watched The Untouchables. Was there any homeless people in it? And were they badass ninjas?
Hello, fellow students.
Okay. Let's go do nice outfit.
Greetings. You should take that hat off. It makes you look like a dork.
Whatever.
Why does she have to call me a dork? It's so fucking painful. So painful. So brutal.
Look at the cool guy.
See, that's better. I'm the cool guy. Thanks. See, now I feel better now.
What's that thing on your head?
Get him. Oh. Whoa, that dude wasn't happy about me skating. He's a physical specimen though, so... Sorry, Nev. Oh shit, wrong way. He's still chasing me? Oh shit, he is.
I'm gonna make you hurt. I need
Alright.
to do more cardio.
You do, right? You're a track star, dude. Like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna get you.
Probably won't, though. I'm hoping we get a nice outfit from this
Jimmy,
mission.
I've had a brilliant idea. Another.
Einen has an epic bone on the battlefield.
You are
Have you seen his epic bone?
Luckily
Daddy?
for you,
It's
I've chosen you to help me carry
powerful.
out this little masterpiece. My finest work.
What are you talking about, you lunatic?
I'm talking about what we're always talking about, amigo.
What's that?
About bullying the bullies. About my favorite dish, revenge.
Revenge? Against who?
Who do you think? The football
Benjamin Franklin.
team. Those overdeveloped.
He's interested in your epic bone, Einen. I mean,
Our little manor.
a lot are.
Reduced to a bunch of sniveling wretches, bowing down to my.
You mean our?
I meant
Seen it?
our
It's more like an underwhelming noodle. Oh,
superiority.
but its name says epic
Us,
and bone.
like gentlemen over the peasants.
I suppose noodles
Us,
could be seen as epic
us.
bones to really teeny
Yes.
like creatures.
You ruling, of course. Me offering some sage advice.
Didn't I beat this nerd up already?
Doing all the thinking, that sort of thing. Merlin to your King Arthur.
Whatever. What's the plan?
Well, first, we need you to get the school mascot costume.
And how do you suggest I do that?
Well,
Wear it.
go follow them. Wait for us to distract the gorillas. Go! While we still have hope!
Down with hope. Travel to the football field and annoy the mascot. Okay.
Everyone's jealous of me.
Hiya.
Spud him.
Hi.
Hi. I have no time, man. I have to beat up a ball.
Like, did you make those shoes yourself?
I can't believe I'm the mascot. This is so cool. Stop that. I'm gonna get you. Leave me alone, jerk. Come on there. Come on. I'm gonna break your face. I'm gonna get you. What's your problem, man? You're going down. I'm gonna get you.
Oh shit, now the coach is after me.
I'm gonna lay your butt out like a newborn baby. Oh, man. I'm a physical specialist.
Man, I'm way better at American football than all these guys. They can't even touch me.
You are so annoying. You're going down.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
There needs to be more carnage.
Good job. Totally respect me when I'm a master.
Oh shit, they got me. Oh, he's got a baseball bat. That's a deadly weapon.
I'm gonna maim you.
I'm whipping your whipping boy. I think you fight the ball in the pool. Ooh, okay. And I whispered what Mojo said as well. Hang on, 2 seconds. I'm sure I beat this game, but I don't remember most of this stuff. Yeah, see, playing this game has made me realise I did purely just dick about on my mate's one. I never actually properly played it at all. Oh shit. Almighty's a soothsayer. How did he know?
Up here, suckers. What are you kidding?
Get him.
You're messing with the wrong mascot. Come on, then.
Let's go. Oh, that was a pretty big drop, right?
You fight like my mom.
Your mum's a good fighter. Hey, Mojo baby! Ah, shit! Thank you very much for that, dude. 36 months with Prime, 3 years on the fucking buzzer, baby. Thank you very much, Mojo, dude. You were a fucking legend, my man. I'm gonna beat this nerd up for you. Or get impaled. One of the two.
That hurts so much.
Get down, get down. You don't remember all, but you remember this, right? Okay. Ball in the pool is a memorable thing, yeah. Hey, look at me. I look cool as hell now. Remember a bunch of this game, but you forgot some of it. Fair. I would say, I mean, if people are thinking about it, go for a replay. It's been super fun. Oh dear. Everyone's getting angry. Big game. Oh, let's go see the big game.
I'm gonna bust your gut up and watch
I'll get you next time. Dude, I'm wasting
I'm a physical specimen. He's in better shape than I thought.
Ball. All balls are healthy, apart from the dead ones, which are kind of unhealthy. The big game. Okay. We've pre-gamed enough. Let's go for the big game now. You begin to wonder if you actually did finish it. Yeah, right? I find that with a lot of old games, I'm like, yeah, no, I definitely completed it. You do get to the second level and you're like, oh, no, I only ever played the first level. Goddamn, 3 years. Thank you very much, Mojo.
You'd think, who's that handsome stranger? Then I'd walk into the bar, impress you with my
Is that Harlequin?
suavity.
Suavity.
My suavability?
Suavability, okay.
How
Suavability.
I was. I'd look up and say, what's a nice
What was the wiki I used? I can't remember, but if you search for Bully Mod Wiki, I think it'll show up. I've got it in my Discord, if not, like somewhere in my like, DMs. Not got any more, and your 360 is in the box there. I still have my 360, but yes, it's in my like outhouse now.
personal history.
Yeah, if they remade this, like modern graphics and shit, that'd be fucking sick. I really want them to make a Bully 2 as well, man. Like, it's been a long time. It'd be really cool.
Operation Trojan Cow is ready to proceed.
Operation Trojan Cow.
It's my master plan.
Hey, cow baby! Is it in an Xbox? No. They don't make boxes in the shape of X's. That's silly. Who's buying giant X's? Kyle, just, you know, think. Jeez.
Does this work?
Get a PC though, for real, for real. It's an Xbox box, yeah.
The speed of light times the speed of a flying spaceship?
Use the cow dance to get jocks to leave you alone. Oh, this is a pretty good dance. I like how there's a flap on the back in case he needs to poop. You're buying giant X's? Jeez, dude. You're just keeping big X in the industry, you know. Bloody big X. You've read that, but yeah, I've read it was supposed to be a thing, but over the years. I mean, I did hear a thing once. I did hear a thing once that like Rockstar were like, all of our games are franchises. None of them are just gonna be like one and done. But I don't know. I think GTA Online changed a lot of their business model. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. Maybe if I will if retailers keep selling a piece of scalpers, right? Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can't do it. You can't do the modded ones without on the phone, can you?
Hi, Jimmy.
Where is the people that I need to impress?
Talking about weird stuff. She's pretty smart, though. I'll get them for the wedgie and shoving me in that locker. They are so toast.
I like toast.
Hey, Jimbo.
What's up, nerd?
Careful. Patrols are everywhere. We are in grave danger at this very moment.
You're in grave danger of a knuckle
Really want a second? Yeah, right, too right. Yeah, I was gonna jump in Among Us last month, but saw it was modded and have it on the Switch. Ah, right, okay. Yeah. Hopefully they add a lot, like, hopefully they're adding, like, a lot of newer features and stuff in it, so, like, the mods won't be a necessity anymore, so then we can actually, like, you know, do the same cool shit together.
Come on, you can do it. That was wicked awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Wicked awesome. Wicked cool.
I like that.
That was quick done. Let's go, Jake.
I'm too good. I'm too good. We'll play DBD at some point, no, for sure. Yeah, too fucking right, dude. Yeah. I've got DBD installed as well, like, ready to go. Hey, I'm Rayan. Welcome back there, buddy. Welcome. How are you doing again? You like the projects more than the kids, to be honest? Yeah, I like the proximity chat. More than the... I think you meant more than the mods, right? They had a script written for Bully 2. Right. More than... mods. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, that was it. Okay, cool. Talk to the nerd agents. I'm feeling like I need to bash them though.
Here, take this glue bottle. It's full of glue.
Momentum for it kind of fizzled out. Hey, I resent that term.
Situation. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I think it's also just like they're obviously thinking about how to make everything multiplayer now, as well as Oh, that was close. But yeah, like, because of how well GTA Online did, I think they're always going to try and put some form of online in games, so even if they potentially weren't going to before. So that's going to change, obviously, a lot of stuff. Looks like mods more than kids. Yeah, true, right? Yeah. Kids are annoying as fuck, yeah. I mean, Carl wasn't wrong, that's for sure.
Dance for me, boy.
Good thing Jimmy knows his dance so well. And no one's found the other guy who was in a suit yet.
I'm so glad I'm not.
And really McCoy Bully 2, that's a better use. Yes, thank you, Kyle. Jeez. Show him respect, you know. They're going to be super relaxed. They'll never be allowed to leave.
But not as good as wrestling match. Funny joke.
Funny joke. Glue on the benches, right? I know, it's fucking nuts, mate. How do they come up with this shit? Like really slow drying glue that only glues at the precise right time too.
Yes, because Darby said it was a good idea.
Fucking Darby.
Before I give you any sensitive information, I must ask you for the secret password. Is it quit messing around before I lose my patience and hurt you?
Good thing.
No, but it'll do. Okay, here's the deal. The jocks keep their game sports drink in a cooler. Go urinate in it. Enhance it, if you will.
That's
My mom calls me Prince
disgusting.
Algie. She says I'm really special.
Hi.
Hey, Rim.
Bull, where's rules? Bull, where's rules? Bull, dance for us.
And they got to even do it for the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders ones meant to be dancing. You know, they're meant to be on like my level, man, and I'm even having to maintain them.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Not bad. Maybe you should
You're
join
welcome.
our squad.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I'd love to. Give me a pom pom. Give me another pom-pom. Alright, that works.
You still any good, mascot? Nice work, mascot boy.
What? Doo-doo-doo. I remember back in the 90s when bullying was less frowned upon and everyone put thumbtacks on the package chair and waited for them to sit down and face etch and solve forever. Yeah, see, we did it to everybody. We just did shit like that to everybody anyway, but... Equal bullying, you know. Tell it to the judge. Yeah, right.
This is too much for me.
I peed in there. Oh shit, what's in my pee? Right. He should be ashamed of himself.
Suck on this.
I'm a physical specimen. Get off of me. I love hot dogs.
Oh, this kid's just throwing up all over the shop. You see that little dude just throw up? Oh wait, he's back up here anyway. Get him away, get him away. Get him away. You alright? Did I ever tell you about the mascot costume I bought in high school? I don't think you did. What was it? The bullying in school back then was savage. I'm guessing it's mostly cyberbullying now. I think, yeah, it's probably more emotional rather than physical bullying nowadays. They moved their levels up, you know.
Later.
Hi. How did they know it's me? I'm wearing a goddamn costume. How's no one gonna notice marbles before the game starts?
Mr. Bird has a new playbook for the big game.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Talk to the final nerd agent. It was a blue dragon? Were you at the Yu-Gi-Oh school? That sounds cool though. Did you actually have a... Was your school meant to have a blue dragon mascot, or did you just want to? I think it cost $100 and you spent $15 and got friends to contribute for the rest. Fucking A. Damn, yeah, that's alright then. And then what, did you become the school mascot, or did you just make yourself a mascot for the fun of it? Which is also cool.
You'll like it. The jocks won't.
Remember being stuck in a circle of kids. One of our arms linked so I couldn't get out whilst they just kicked the fuck out of you. Yeah, kids are cruel. And, like, pretty, like, resourceful at times as well, right? Like, the way they bully can be quite genius at times. It had nothing to do with your school. Okay, nice. You just wanted a nice, yeah, mascot costume.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Do you still have it? You did go to a football game in it though. Nice. Did you get on the pitch? Did you like make it your own? Oh my god, I have no spray paint to do this. I have to go all the way to the grocery store. I'm really hoping there's spray paint in here or something that will help me. I'm going in here first. Do I have to go all the way to a fucking store? Cans of spuds. I want spray paint. Oh, god damn it. Okay, I have to go all the way into town. Oh shit. Wait a minute. There we go. God damn it. American football, so no long. I can't remember what I originally said. By the way, you can't speak. English police want to speak to you for some reason. Oh shit. Oh, okay. It might still be at my parents' house. I can. Oh, and because it was American football, you didn't go anywhere. Oh yeah. I think it's at my parents' house. I can look for a picture of it later. Yeah, too right. Yeah, man. I want to see that shit. That'd be dope as fuck.
What's up? Hi. Scram! I just don't understand why.
Really? Hi.
Later, man.
Hey, say hi to Mr. P. You better not slow down.
I'm gonna break you like this.
Open wide. Scared.
These greasers are really aggressive.
Oh, shoot. You're in trouble. I'm in nicotine withdrawal. You better not slow down.
Who wants to get wrecked?
You better not slow down.
I'm a well-oiled
Man, these guys are all bullies, man.
Keep running. When I touch you, get him back.
Oh, come on, man! This fucking mission. I got one hit in and I was knocked out. I was just trying to get to the fucking shop. God damn it.
What a lightweight. Oh, come on. I never meant
It is a bit shitty when you have games where, like, right, it's like, go do this mission. Right, you have no paint, you have to go all the way into town to go get that shit now. If the shop's even open. It's bullshit. You ain't scared of no English police. What about British police? What do, just wave batons at people and wear those big silly hats.
My word is the
Come on. Hey, do you like that green?
I'm gonna have to do all this shit again as well. That's bullshit. Like all of the stuff I just did at the school, I'm gonna have to do again. It should let me buy more than one if it's gonna make me be out of stock and shit.
Have you ever been to the old observatory? I kissed my first boy there.
What's
They
that?
finally sent that old drunk Galloway to the funny farm.
Yeah, right, yeah, it's savage. I think time stops when I'm doing the actual mission though. So we should have time to actually get it done.
Need my snack? Hey, friends look nice.
That was such a good. Word up, Coolio. Hola. Word up, Coolio.
I don't know Coolio went to our school.
Can't believe my mom will
I kind of thought he'd have been like way older than these guys.
I don't want to see any trouble.
Hi. I like you, Jimmy, but I probably shouldn't. You know.
I'm gonna bust your gut up and watch you bleed.
I'm a physical specialist. You can't outgrow
I'm
me.
gonna get you. I'm gonna smack. I will make you learn nothing else to do.
I'm gonna get you. I can't wait to physical, you little bum. I'm gonna kick your ass.
Stay here, you wimp.
Need backsport. Get away.
Okay, we got to start the mission again. Let's go. At least we have first break back.
Yes, Candy from Ohio. You would be a fair queen for me.
She would be too.
What would you call a yard thick in the metric system? Spectacular! 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 What would you call a
They
yard
were all
thick
gonna
in a
basically stroke my head. Like if you ever met a real bull, you probably would have stroked it on the head because bulls are cute.
You better not mess up.
Do they beat up their mascot if he messes up like even a bit then? That seems a bit.
I like that. That is what people look up. I like that. No troubling for you.
Bomb. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Bomb. Bomb.
Maybe she's like a... Careful! Patrols are everywhere. We are in grave danger.
I know, come on, nerd, hurry up.
You're in grave danger of a knuckle sandwich if you don't get on with it.
Yeah, nerd.
What?
Here's a ball we rigged. Get to the shed by the field and swap it for the real game ball.
Alright.
Come on, you can do it.
I really love that
was wicked awesome.
So nice.
That was wicked awesome.
That's pretty
Pretty cool. Oh wow. Excellent.
That was wicked awesome.
That's pretty
All
cool.
right, done. Let's go, Jake.
Excuse me. Speak to Nerd Jadens. Kyle, Jimmy wants to talk to you. Get him. Oh shit. That pushed Kyle over the edge. He doesn't want to take that no more. He has challenged him to a you what, mate. Moida. Most sensual. And the you what, mate has been accepted. Let's see how this goes down. It's gonna be brutal. Oh, that was quick. What am I doing?
Take this glue bottle. It's full of glue. Go create a sticky situation on the team bench.
You got good there. But I'm assuming Kyle just forgot to bring his sand.
Yeah,
Much like I forgot to bring spray paint.
Come on, dance. Time to back up your track.
I will win. I will make you cry like little girl.
That's cool.
I like that I don't mind that I'm gluing the thing as long as I dance. Anybody wanna dance?
Whoa, that's cool. I just think you dance real good for a boy.
You got that nerd agent. No, there's no retorting back now. Y. A. Give me an X. Give me an A. Give me a B. Give me a Y. Give me an A. Give me an X. A baby X.
I'm tired.
I'm wasted. I love you, darling. I haven't had that in a while. Nice, nice.
The football game will be good, but not as good as
Da.
wrestling match. Funny. Joke.
Oh shit, thunderbolts and lightning.
What is, as they say, up?
Clouds.
Agent Bull.
And there is Kyle, you go back to work. You know, we all know that Kyle's just incredibly embarrassed about that showdown with
Messing around before I lose my
with
patience,
Mojo. Yeah,
aren't
yeah.
you?
But you enjoy your time, Kyle, dude, and maybe see you later, hopefully. It depends what time I'm streaming, what time you finish, I guess. Yeah, have a lovely day nonetheless, dude. Oh, that's nice.
Enhance it, if you will.
I mean, he probably still has a supervisor, but... You nerd? Are you trying to say Uno? You said Uno, really weird.
Sometimes I just don't feel like playing football.
Like, I got time to hear the.
Do your dance, mascot.
Would they have beaten me up?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You're so dorky. I love it.
Wow. Did all that for her and then she calls me dorky? That's mean. The dude in this mascot thing must hate it. Like, you can't take 2 steps around the school without people demanding he dances, or they'll beat the shit out of him. It's not even a game time at the moment. Have a little wee wee. Nice, nice. I'm guessing I have a sip at the front and a flap at the back then.
There's a rumor that someone is gonna screw up the game.
This is too much for me.
Oh, and Stream Raiders is ready. Let's go do that. You looked like an enormous ball on top of those stairs, right? Icky. That's so icky. Ah! Ah! Okay, let's do Stream Raiders. Let's do it. Mascot life isn't as glamorous as the stories make it out to be. I reckon that's just what they say so people stop applying to be mascots because it's such a fucking good gig, you know. Mojo's blatantly saying it because he's trying to get a mascot near where we all live. The world. Oh, you going for the world mascot? Yeah, there's been a few applications for that. I believe the latest world mascot is actually just a fridge freezer. A marvel of modern science. And it looks like we've wrecked these nerds. Yeah, those ibis birds didn't even stand a chance. And now we've got to beat the owls up and the Slytherin. GG. GG. Everybody getting some. Nice. Okay, so this time the winners are Einan, and I believe I said then would be Hatter as well. So Einan and Hatter, enjoy, buddies. Okay, and then next we can either go for a mystery or a silver chest. Let's go for the mystery. It'll lead to a gold chest anyway. Who doesn't like a mystery? Ronald McDonald is your mascot. Oh, that's a pretty good mascot, actually. I once saw Ronald McDonald in Copenhagen. And there was no McDonald's around for a really long distance. I had no fucking idea. I'm pretty sure it was a freelance Ronald McDonald's just, you know, turning up and shit. Oh, this one looks interesting. Sinkhole. Alright, this one looks like it could be hardcore, guys. Get your troops in. We gotta fight this bitch. That bitch. That bitch. All of those. Whatever that is. It's gonna be a tough one. Yeah. And there is Leon. It's lovely seeing you again, man. You have a dope day, and we will catch you real soon, hopefully, I'm sure. But have a lovely one. And yeah, lovely to see you again, my man. We've got to go talk to Kyle.
What am I supposed to do about it? Stunt puppet coming through.
Yeah, Jimmy!
I won.
Your quest, young Jimmy, is perilous, but the rewards are glorious.
Epic crystal tank. Ooh, an epic balloon buster. Still sad the host attempt failed big time. I'm pretty sure the host happens. Oh, you meant with a raid from after you finish streaming. Yeah, fair. Hey, it's lovely seeing you nonetheless, dude. Don't worry about it. You don't know what's weird, a freelancing Ronald or a place where you can walk 10 steps without coming across a McDonald's. Yeah, right? Exactly, yeah. Defend the clam? Oh, is that the thing we're meant to do? We do like clams. Much better than oysters, obviously. Take the wide berth in case I accidentally hit them.
Mr. Burton has a new playbook for the big game.
It's called running on marbles. And Matty P, baby! Coming in with the hot raid there, dude. How are you doing, my man? Lovely to see you, dude. What was on your agenda today? I think I saw you doing some Final Fantasy 14 earlier? Boof boos! Have you ever had a clam or oyster, but you love mussels? I've never had a clam. I've had oysters before, and they're alright. A lot of people just don't like the texture and shit. I don't think I've ever had the last thing, which I already forgot what it was now. And thanks for doing a shout out there, Mojo, dude. And welcome everybody coming across. As you can see, we are playing some Bully, which if you never played Bully, it's an absolute fucking gem. It's great. I'm a bull. I beat up a ball in a pool, and now I get to wear the ball uniform in school. Yeah. Good times.
Oh, Jimmy.
And the ladies love me. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, dude, yeah. Like, this has been an awesome game. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I had to do... If you're playing it on PC, you're going to have to use things like the, I think it was a silent patch to actually get it to work properly. But with a few mod patches, I haven't had, like, any crashes on it. It's just the odd mission you have to change from, like, 60 to 30 frames per second, so it's all good. Yeah, Bully 2, man. Where it at? They're probably trying to figure out how to make Bully online. Otherwise, what's the point of making their single player game? Mojo's a clam? Get him. Mojo does love a good clam. Dork losers, get him. Wait, is that not what I was meant to do? Oh, I was meant to... Was I not even meant to tag it? I had to restart this mission because I had to go get spray paint and I got knocked out first. I didn't realise I didn't actually need to go tag that. Shit. Well, fuck it. You're a mussel and I'm going to eat you with garlic. A mussel, that's it. I'm pretty sure I have had mussels.
Did you ever take any...
But I never really wanted
Who is
them.
that Kim?
Yeah, who is that, Kim?
Oh, it's that little Squirt Hopkins.
Yeah,
Hey-o.
that's Squirt Hopkins.
You're dead, Hopkins.
Yeah, dead Hopkins.
Why don't you stop repeating everything he
No, I like
says
it.
and get on with it?
Life needs more parrots. I have no wings.
Time for some
I'm gonna
smash
bust you. I'm gonna bust you.
Dodge. Oh shit! Dodge the balls that Ted throws, pick them up, and throw them back at the jocks. This is gonna sound good.
Check this out, freak!
How do I?
Screw yourself, Doodle. 38
I'm
sweet.
gonna bust your gut up and watch you bleed.
Why are they explosive?
Okay, that actually
Time to put some lumber down. You want me to beat on you?
Where did that one go? Oh, look at the arm on Jimmy Hopkins. Why am I not in the team, man? He's got a great arm. Look at the aim. Jimmy should definitely be on the team. You'd be surprised if jocks didn't play with their balls, right? Yeah, man. Like all the time. Ironing and garlic tagliatelle. Ooh, nice. Hey, you little shit. Am I meant to beat you up now or what? How about this? No children for you. Wearing a cup and you still got fucked up. Am I meant to beat them up now, or are they going to throw more balls? Oh no, okay, cool. Kaboom. Get over here. Get out of my house. Oh shit. So they are just throwing explosive balls. Oh, that was close. Oh, bollocks. I just... Oh, okay. I got the guy who was coming into the field. I thought I just really misthrown that. Oh shit, we're making them retreat. I'm pretty sure that's a thing you do in American rugby. Oh, for this nerd's gonna...
Quick, replace it! One, two, screen left! Go, go, go! Back off my teammate, jerkwad! I'm gonna make you swallow this!
Oh, that's gonna explode, I'll let them... Whoa. I saved their lives there.
Your mom catches my long bomb!
Say goodbye to your kids. Oh no, just spat in him instead. Oh, savage. You'll be liking the shit. No worries, dude. You have a good time, man. And thank you very much for the raid, dude. Yeah, get yourself some food and some sleep. I'm assuming you've been streaming for a long time. Yeah, have a dope one, dude. I got him in the nuts on that one. Beautiful, beautiful. I think they should just put fireworks in the footballs and restitch them. Yeah, that would look cool. Patriots do that in the NFL too. What, throw bombs? Oh, crazy. I just wanted to kick him forever. I just took out their whole team, goddamn. I should be the team, you know. You got to go to number one chief rugger, no worries, dude. You take it easy as well, man. You have a lovely time. I'll catch you real soon, I'm sure.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, you keep it real, baller, baby. And thank you again for the 3 years worth of subs, my man.
So here I am, suddenly
Crazy.
the king of the school. I never
Oh, it's the
meant
end of the
things to
chapter.
turn out this way. I just wanted to control a couple of psycho kids and be left alone. But now I guess I'm certainly going to live the good life.
Oh yeah, I think we're in chapter 5 now. Yeah, okay. So there's a couple of missions on this we have to be aware of that I need to change the frames for. So, yes.
Hey, Darby!
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Dabby!
Hey, Chad.
Oh, towny time, okay.
Jimmy!
Everyone loves me.
Oh, man,
What are you gonna say?
Oh, hey, girl, you're looking great.
Oh, hey, girl.
Thank you for that sugar, darling.
Oh, shit, Jimmy, you're ballin'. God, Jimmy's such a great guy. I wish I had his autograph.
Jimmy, what's going on?
Hey, Pete.
I did it, man. I took over this dump. These morons are my morons. That's great. Just don't turn into a jerk. How could I? Hey, baby. How you doing?
How
what
you
you
living?
doing later? Just remember, Jimmy, not everybody likes you. Correct. They love me. Well,
Get
what about
him.
Gary? Gary? Forget about
How have
that
we not
Toro.
killed him
Dude,
yet?
It's me now. I run this place, and you're my friend, so please try to be cool. Oh, man, you're bringing me down. Come on, let's go milk this thing for all it's worth. We might even find you a girl.
Now, let's not start
Jimmy, I gotta go.
making promises we can't keep.
Hey, you. How you doing?
Totally know what you mean.
Man, I gotta look karate or something. Hi. Jimmy, forgive me, but I gotta go.
No worries, I gotta get this dude quickly anyway.
You made my hit list!
Get him! I'm the cool kid. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? That's right. Run away.
I really enjoy it.
Hey, don't do that. Okay?
We need like snack break and
I wanna just keep him in place until that nerd hit him. Okay, I'm gonna see what the first lesson is, but I do need a piss, so we'll take a break very soon and do a little giveaway. Oh, fuck. Okay.
I need a plan.
Time for geography. As you can see, I've done most of the other subjects now to like level 5. We're still on geography 2. So, this is American states, which I don't believe there's any states in America anymore. It's all bullshit. It's actually a lie. But we're gonna get shit done this time. Because I remember like 5 now. California, boom, right there. Arizona, boom, no idea, not there. Minnesota, Timberwolves. Boom, right here. No, that's not the wrong. Florida, here, the little weird thing. Yeah, cool. Montana, not a real place. Kansas, not a real place. Kentucky, likes chicken. Also not actually real. I don't remember any of the rest of them. Please help me, Americans, right now. Where's Arizona? I'm gonna... Is Arizona here? Is this Arizona? I'm not gonna let go for a moment. Go on. That wasn't... So that's not Arizona. Montana is... Oh, hang on. Like, Montana is this one, I'm guessing. Yes. Okay, thank you, Ivan. That was the one you were trying to tell me before. Yeah, we haven't had Texas yet. North Carolina is... This one North Carolina? Yes, cool. New York is this one. South Dakota... Kansas is in a sandy area. Is this Kansas? Oh, NC. What one was NC? Hang on. There is no NC here at the moment. Texas is middle east coast. I'm going to try this as Arizona. Okay, cool. That was Arizona. This is Texas. Sweet. Utah is somewhere. South Dakota is nearest one to Montana. Where was Montana again? This one, I guess? Yes. Sweet. Thank you, Ryan. Shit. Kansas is above Texas. Okay. Fucking A. Nice one. Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, and Utah I've got left. I'm going to say Minnesota's this one, because Timberwolves. Wolves like snow. Louisiana is near like the swamps, right? Louisiana's the one next to Texas, yeah. Okay, sweet, fucking A. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to guess this is Kentucky. No, that wasn't Kentucky. If that wasn't Kentucky, maybe it's Michigan. No, it's 100% Utah. No, none of them were that. Fuck. Fuck, we were so close! I just spammed it because I thought there were only 3 left when there were 4. Utah was above Arizona. Fuck. God damn it. We were so close, man. I can't believe they didn't give it to us. That was only the second geography lesson as well. That felt harsh, you know.
You suck!
This is so sweet.
I definitely need more time to learn, right? I'm going to test and I don't think I've even had any lessons.
Why do people have to be so yucky?
Ever just give up going to the toilet?
I do definitely need to repeat that class. I've repeated it a few times already, but
Wait to graduate so
I don't really teach very well in it.
nowhere to run anywhere on this planet.
Bummer. There was something else I
Perhaps a
wanted to
strong
tell you.
showing in the
I'm
history
not a
bowl would win me a
pessimist.
scholarship.
It is vital.
Bad mood.
I don't know how I'm going to get through life without knowing American states.
I love mathematics. All right. Word up, Coolio. You smell really nice.
If you kiss once a day,
Hey.
you'll live longer.
Oh shit, I'm going to live twice as long now.
Hi, it's me, Sheldon. I hear my sarcasm.
Especially South Dakota, right? Yeah, that's where the parties go down.
and pretended to give a lecture as a neurologist in front of a mirror.
She's following me, she's a bit needy.
Anyways, bye.
That's, I want to stand on the rail. Oh yeah, we haven't actually done this at all yet.
Whee!
Whee!
That shirt looks nice on you. Gotta get new sheets again.
This kid's pissing his bed like constantly.
Hi, Mr. Hedrick, call me a twerp. Bye-bye.
All I need to do is keep the car on the track.
Hi.
The rest is work itself out.
I want to slide upwards.
Funny. They're so nice.
Okay, we haven't done this lesson yet either. What's this one? Math, okay. This might be the last, it is the last math. Alright, let's do it.
All right, let's get this over with, children.
Let's do this thing. Also, I just realized it put me back in normal clothes for the new chapter. Okay, so 13 plus 8 is 21, so 23. Which is the lowest? The smallest one. Which is the shortest? Like a doghouse? Yeah. 2 equals. Oh, that's too hard. I'm really bad at this one, so...
You could do better than that.
Okay. So something plus 6 minus 3 equals 11. So 14 to 8. Okay, which is the first. That took me way too long. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is the highest? This one. 255. What? Like that one, yeah. I knew it. Pyramids?
Pay attention.
Depends on the bridge. 1.25 is
Wrong.
Yep, that's what I was going for. Is that an egg or is that a universe? What the fuck is that?
You're not
I didn't know what it was.
trying.
18 minus 11. Yeah, 7. This is all such bullshit. Did I fail? I failed. That was a bit harder. The Golden Gate Bridge is bigger than the pyramids? Apparently so, yeah. And do they mean length or height? Like, these classes are very uneducational.
I will beat you for that.
That's probably not allowed, you know.
Maybe
You literally just, you turn up for a test and they don't ever teach you. Get them.
Boys will protect you, Jimmy, but I probably shouldn't.
Why, Jimmy? Why?
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Oh, I've got a leather jacket up there now. Okay, I'm gonna save it